Yo, what up, my peeps? You got Sarge coming at you Wednesday evening in the backyard. Big shout out to the Crap Nation crew. What up, Crap Nation people? So, yeah, before I dived off into getting ready for LFC later on tonight, I decided I'm going to do a quick uh, trip report on my casino run last week down to my local casino, Chooctaw. Uh, yeah, went down there last Tuesday-ish. Yeah, Tuesday. Went down Tuesday, Wednesday, came back on Thursday. That was the birthday run. So yeah, got down there Tuesday afternoon. Me and the wife got checked in. Uh, Usual balcony room facing the street. Facing the highway. Love that view off that way. I call it the city view. Ain't really nothing out there to see, but oh well. So yeah, once we got checked in, got situated, went downstairs, and went to check out the craps pit, which is normally down in the smoking end. My wife went off to go find herself her favorite slot machine, but then I realized, oh, in the non-smoking section, the crap table was open down there. Now, I haven't seen that crap table open in the non-smoking section since I've been going there for quite a while, and I always heard that it was always mostly open on the weekends, but this was a weekday with light traffic, I gotta say, and it was open. So I decided, you know what? Let me go down the smoking side anyhow, because I'm more familiar with that table down there. So made my way down that way. Got down there. There was maybe about, like I said, it was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, about 3 o'clock-ish. Made my way to the table. There was maybe about 4 or 5 shooters on the table. And my slot was open. Stick right 2 to 3, and I was like, okay, you know what? Let's get dialed in. So I think I bought in for 200, and dice went around 6 8, all the other shooters, because really this was just all about getting dialed in, seeing what the toss was doing, making sure my mechanics was down and everything. Funny I mentioned the word mechanics, because 2 days prior to me leaving home, I made an adjustment to my mechanic, and it was working. It was working great at home. So of course, when I got to the casino, that was what I had locked in, my new adjustment to my mechanics. Dice come to me. I get on there. I think I had everything. When the dice came to me, I bought, like I said, I was bought in for 200 just to check the toss. And I think my first roll was like maybe a 7-8 roller, nothing to write home about. Dice laid down proper, everything felt good. My new adjustment seemed to be working. Okay, so I was like, okay, looked good. I stayed in that table till about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, till we decided to go eat. Dice went around a few times, got a few decent rolls in, and yeah, by the time I colored up, I think I colored up down in that short time frame, probably went down maybe about $300 or something, because I rebuyed and kept on shooting, just trying to get a feel for the table, because the plan was to do a coffee run at about, come downstairs about 5 o'clock in the morning ish, 4 or 5 o'clock, and employ my bankroll, the bulk of my bankroll, and go anywhere from 700 to 920 across, just depending on how I feel. 960 across. I keep saying 920. So I walked away from the table feeling good. Okay, toss was looking good. Now went down. Me and the wife went to dinner. And then by the time we got finished with dinner, about 7, a little after 7, 8 o'clock, went to the buffet. Good stuff. Always great food there. Uh, the wife went back to her check out her slots, and I went back to the crap table. Walked over to the crap table. Eh, by this time, right in the 8 o'clock hour, that's prime time. Table was packed. Like everybody knocked off from work from Dallas and came up there, or whatever. But the table was packed, so wasn't able to get on there. Period. So I was like, okay. Started wandering around. Then I remember, oh yeah, they got the bubble crap machine down there. So let me go down there and see if I can get something going on bubble crap. So I sat down there and started playing from about 8:30 ish till about 12, 11:30. Every now and then I would take a break, but I was able to sit there and analyze the bubble crap machine and come up with a nice little strategy and a couple of rules, if I adhere to, seem to work, and they're basic crap rules everybody know. We don't normally follow them, but for instance, taking a one count on the after the initial point is set, and I'm gonna tell you that one count saved my ass more often than not. I was surprised how many times that machine would point 7 out. So I was like, okay, need to stick with that strategy. Then I remember, when I took the class with the dice coach, Bo Parker, big shout out to the dice coach. He had always mentioned, when you see a yo, maybe you might want to turn your bets off. A yo or a 3, turn your bets off for a hit. If you see the 2 or a 12, turn your bets off for 2 hits. And I decide, you know what, let me try to employ those strategy into this style of play. Normally in a crap table, no, I normally wouldn't do that, especially if I'm the shooter. I don't know, I probably should, and it probably save my ass, but I normally don't. But on that bubble crap machine, I did. And once again, adding those couple of little rules in there, if I follow them, again, save my ass quite a bit. Many a time, as soon as I see a 3 or a yo roll, I would turn my bets off just to see what the heck's gonna happen in the next roll. Boom, big red came. I was like, okay, let me, a couple of times, the midnight and the 2 rolled. I was like, okay, let's stay off for 2 rolls and see what happens. Won't you know, the first roll, a number would show. The second roll, boop, 7 out. I like, wow. So again, I was like, okay, this shit is actually, I'm getting a rhythm here with this machine. I'm in sync with this machine. And all I was doing, my simple strategy for what I was doing was, I was grinding it out. Okay, I was grinding it out because I was already down 300. So I stayed there and actually put $200 in the machine and said, okay, if I can turn this 200 into 500, basically adding 3 to it, I will get it from the machine. And I sat there and just grind it out for, won't you know, within an hour, I was cashing out that ticket for $515. Meant to take a picture, but I forgot it. So anyhow, so I was like, okay, maybe there is something to this, at least with that particular machine. Guys, this isn't the regular little bubble crap machine that you guys play, the individual bubble crap machine, or the big one where everybody's like in a round circle. This is the who makes it? Interlink or something like that. But it's the one where you have a big TV screen up ahead. It has the big dice over there with a dome over it, and you know they got the blackjack and those of you familiar with Chooctaw know what I'm talking about. But just know it's the old bubble crap machine with the big dice, not the little small piddly dice. So the dice act a little bit differently. Anyhow, so I was like, okay, that worked out great. I got my 300 back. I was like, I got up, take a break, went down and checked the crap table, see if my slot was open yet. By this time it's by 11 o'clock ish. Table was still packed. I was like, wow, okay. Go back down and decide, let's put another 200 in there, see if we can get back to 5 again. Again, I'm sitting there grinding it out, sticking to my rules, and my simple strategy, I think I meant to say, was I would bet I was going 160 across, and either on the second or third hit, I would keep my bets off, of course, on the first roll, doing that one count after the point set. Then anywhere between the second and the third hit, I would then turn my bets on and see what happens. And just for that point cycle, if I was able to get paid, whatever the point, whatever the next number was, then I would immediately regress my bets, go down to 111, and then just roll it out with the machine. You know, go if every time I get paid, just press my bets up 111 all the way across. At one point, you know how those machines can get. It went on a long roll, and I had all my bets up to 8 all the way across. I was like, wow, I got some money out there. And this machine was just rolling numbers constantly. Then finally, it rolled a yo. I was like, this is my signal to turn my bets off. Won't you know? I turned my bets off. Boom, big red came like clockwork. I was like, yes. Went ahead, looked up top of total. I was sitting at 530, cashed out, got up. I was like, yeah, all right, doing good. Not too shabby. So then took, at that stage, by now it's about 1 o'clock-ish. I was like, sure, by now the table's got to be cleared out. I go back down to the crap table, and it's cleared out. Except for the fact now we got maybe 3 players at the table, but one guy at the table is loud as hell. Okay, yeah, the drunk guy just, yo, you son, man. I was like, oh god. I was like, do I really want to get on the table with him? It's like, my slot's open. The conditions are almost ideal. So I said, okay, you know what? Let me bite the bullet and jump in here, because he seemed to be, just keeping his pass line off on his side. I didn't want to have to say much to him because it looked like he was a little liquored up. So I decided, okay, you know what? Walk up to the table, pulled out. By now I got my $300 back out of the bubble crap machine, so I'm up. So I buy in for 1,000, and cause again I wasn't too sure what he was doing down there. I just said, let me 640 across. When the dice came around to me, I said 640 across. She set me up, got the dice. This was the same table that I was on from earlier, so I felt good. Got locked in, got down there my shooting stance, my new adjustments, everything. Lined up the dice. Bam, set the point. Let's say it was at 6, hot 6. So that worked out. I was like, okay, good deal. Set the point. Now I'm thinking, okay, let's just, so I don't get a little too aggressive. I'm just gonna go for 2 hits at 640. So, and the set I was using, and that was something that I had started just experimenting with before I left home too. In addition to my adjustment, I was using a 6-3-6-3 set, but I was double pitching the bottom dice. So was it 6-3? No, yeah. Oh, single pitch in the bottom die. Yeah. So the set became 6-3, 3-1. And so bottom line is the next two rolls I was able, I think I hit like an 8, then I hit a 5, and I told the dealer take me down, and then went 160 across, maybe got one more hit in, and promptly 7'd out. So it's like, okay, you know what? It's 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm feeling tired, let's not push it. I'm up right now. So I'm like, okay, so they'll color me up. I go leave the table uh, within probably up $150 from that hand, and then from the bubble crap machine up another 300 plus got my 300 back. So I'm sitting pretty. Okay, this is all the first day. Okay, everything went according to plan, all except, well, since it was 2 o'clock in the morning, I already know I wasn't coming back downstairs at 5 o'clock for the coffee run. That just wasn't happening. I was too tired. So I was like, okay. Everything went smooth, no problem. Went to bed, got up that morning or that afternoon. By the time me and the wife made it downstairs, we sleeping late. We came down by 1:30, 2 o'clock. Went, got a bite to eat. So right after that, we decided, she went to her, go look for her favorite machines. And since we was on the, again, we stay in the towers on the non-smoking side. So as I was walking, come back up, again, I looked over and noticed the crap table was open on the non-smoking side, and it was empty. I was like, okay, this is ideal. I'm gonna walk up here to this table, buy for $1,000, go 960 across, get my 3 hits in, and hell, if that worked out, I might just turn around and go play bubble craps, or maybe sit there and shoot a minute. But that was the idea. As I go walking up to the table, I noticed 2 other guys approach the table at the same time. And I kind of cue it on the face, and I'm like, oh shit, Terry. Yeah, it's like, and then I looked at the guy next to me, Tony. So for you guys that's familiar with him, you guys know Terry. He's a part of Crap Nation. He's in the chat with us, and he lives down there in Denson. Yeah, he lives right outside the casino there. So I was running to him, and then Tony, what's his name? Tony Garcia or Tony Marcia. Tony, tall guy. Last time I seen him, he had just had knee surgery, but he looked a lot better this time around. So I was like, when I noticed it was them 2 guys, 2 other shooter, I was like, yes, it's going down. I was like, change the plan. Instead of, going my 960 across, which might or might not have worked, I'm just gonna play this from the 110 inside, and we got some shooters here, so maybe I might be able to, maybe we might be able to get something going and get some decent rolls. So the dice started off in my hands. I go to my 3V, the 6363 set that I've been using, and I think I set a point of like 9, came back, buckshot at the 9, and let's see, my buy-in was, I still bought it for 1,000. Yeah, I had buying for 1,000, and forgot what those guys bought him for, but then hit the point, immediately turned around, and guys, I threw 6 come out 7s, back to back to back to back. After a while, it became kind of comical. After the first one, I was like, okay, you know what? I did none. The second one, okay, all of them was coming 6-1. Okay, so they was coming, staying with the set that I was using, staying within the throwing plane on axis, so to speak. And so after the second 7 came, I decided, you know what? I said 5 red. So threw another come out 7. Like, okay, got paid on that, and my pass line was just resetting my ATS because it was up for 10, 10, 10. I was like, okay, press it by 5, did it again, press it by 5, did it again, press it by 5. Okay, I was able to make almost 160, about $160 on just in the come out. Okay, don't come out 7. Okay, and then I think I finally set a point at like 8, had maybe 2 quick rolls, boom, boom, and 7 out. So that was that hand. Okay, dice went to Tony. He was right next to me at stick right 1, and Tony got a sweet par toss. Just he would take, line them up and just kind of let him roll off his finger. And Tony had maybe about 4 or 5 roller right out the gate, and then short roll 7 out. Then it went to Terry. Terry was at stick left 2. Terry got a good looking toss. Terry. These are all practice skills shooters. I shot with him many times. Okay, down there at Chooctaw. Terry had like another short roll, maybe about a 2 or 3 roll hand. The dice came around to me, just the 3 of us on the table, and I'm going, I know we're gonna get something going, so I'm going 110 inside and everybody and 160 on myself, and so the dice came back to me. PSO. I go 160 across, PSO. The dice go to Tony. He has another about a 4 or 5 roller. I'm pressing up, collecting, so forth. 7 out. Goes to Terry. Then Terry's second hand, he PSO'd. Dice came around to me. I PSO'd. Guys, every friggin' time the dice came to me, I PSO'd. I was like, Jesus. So, long story short, I quickly blew through that $1,000 that I had there. And when I look back at my chip rack, I think the last time the dice came around to me, I was like, you know what, something got to change. Let me go 160 across. I was like, okay, set point, and promptly 7 out again. This time I got $35 in my rack, in my chip rack, looking at me. I was like, hey guys, I'm gonna take a walk, man. I need a break. So I left those guys on the table. Kind of a shitty way to leave the table, but I never made it back to the table. Okay, or by the time I walked by later on, they was already gone, but I never really made it back. So I walked away from the table, went back up to the room, got a drink, sat down there. Down up there is basically BYOB. Well, either that or you can pay an arm and a leg at the bar. I normally, make me a little something to drink down there. So came downstairs and I was like, okay, you know what? Hey, let's go try that bubble crap machine. Let's see if I can employ everything from the night before at the bubble crap machine. I'm down $1,000, okay? So I'm like, okay. I sat down there. By this time it's about 4 in the afternoon, 4 or 5 o'clock. Wife said we'll go eat about 7:30, 8 o'clock. I was like, cool. So I sat down there for the next 3 hours playing bubble crap, employing my little strategy that I came up with, sticking to those rules, just trying to get paid on the second or third roll after the point is set. Okay, and I would vary it because I noticed after a while getting paid on the second roll was working out great, but then all of a sudden it's like the algorithm or whatever, the eye in the sky, bubble crap is friggin' rigged, was looking at me, and it was like, oh, he's getting paid on the second roll. So I was like, okay, you know what, just as random as this machine is, supposed to be, I need to vary getting paid on the second or third hit, maybe even the fourth hit. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna do that. But I was within that point cycle. I'm only trying to get paid once. Okay, I ain't trying to go for 2 hits, 3 hits. Again, after sitting down there with that particular machine, I kind of got in the rhythm of what was going on with the machine and just had a feel for it. So it's like, okay, let me try this out. So it's like, okay, so started employing my little, bought him for 200. It's like, okay, as soon as I get to 500, I'm gonna get up, which means I'm up 300. Sat down there from right about 5 o'clock ish till 7:30, 8 o'clock. By the time my wife texts me, I had just got to the 500 mark. I was like 503. I was like perfect timing. Snatched it out, went, cashed in. We went, ate dinner. We went to the little restaurant, Salt Ivy. Yeah, Salt Ivy, something like that. Got back to the machine. By the time we got finished eating, it was 9 o'clock. Got back to the bubble crab machine. Well, I had walked down, check out the craps pit. Was gonna get on the table, but both tables, the one in the non-smoking section, which I got my ass kicked on earlier, with Terry and Tony, was now full, and the one down on the smoking side, walked down there, and that was packed. So I was like, okay, you know what? I just stake the bubble craps, employ my little strategy, put $200 in, sat down there at 9 o'clock, started running up the score, and guys, within each point cycle, okay, what I'm saying, every time the point was set, between the point cycle and Big Red showing up, I was getting paid at least once, and then regressing my bets, and then just going down to 111 and keep pressing up. So I was getting paid, but it was a grind, okay? The only thing missing that night was my hat, dice grinder hat. Thanks, Arnell. Big shout out to Arnell. I needed that hat that night. I sat there and grinded out. By the time I was able to, I got to 500. I looked over, got 500 was the mark. I didn't want to keep it in there and try to, I needed to cash it in, feel that money in my pocket, take a break, get something to drink, and go back, sit down, get back in the zone. Sat down there again, okay, cashed it in, came back, put 200 in, go 160 across, started grinding back out, only getting paid on the second or third hit, sometime the fourth hit. Hell, a couple of times I even went as long as the fifth hit just to see what would happen, just being random as far as trying to get paid on that one hit in the point cycle. And I was only, I'm only betting 160. Now, the reason I said I was only betting 160, because the night before, every time I try to level up my bets and go 50 across, I did that a couple times, and wouldn't you know, every time I did that, Big Red would come. It was like, hey, the eye in the sky is looking, and it's like, hey, he just increased his bet. So yeah, go ahead, let's do it now. Boom. It wouldn't matter what I did it on the second roll or the third roll. If I leveled up my bets to 50, the Grim Reaper would always come. Like, what the hell's going on? So I said, you know what? Let's keep it at 160 and just grind it out. And I did exactly that. Okay? So by that third pass, I already got $600 back. It's about 10:30 at night. I like, okay, let's do it again. And I sat down there, grinded out a couple times. I was, you know what? Here's the funny thing. A couple times after I had like maybe it was up to 400, I went 50, just to see what would happen. And wouldn't you know, Big Red showed up. But my bets were off. But I just did that, which again, I just looked up at the eye in the sky and go, this shit's rigged. Y'all full of shit, you know. I'm like, okay, you know, I don't know, it's just me or whatever, but it seemed like anytime I try to level up my bets, Big Red will come knocking. So I stayed at that 160 and just grind it out. So by time I did that last run from 11:30, from 10:30 till 11, till about 12 o'clock ish, I cashed in the it was like 5:35. I think I was already at 480, and then the 160 across. Then the point maybe was like 6, and on the second roll after I did my one count, I turned my bets on and got paid on the second roll. It was a 10, got paid $50, and immediately regressed my bets. So like yes, got up, went, cashed that ticket in. I'm like, okay, so I done got basically right at my $1,000 back. I did this 3 times. Every time I get up from the machine and cashed in, cashing in up 300 after putting in that $200. I was like, okay. So then I was gonna go back and do it again, but I said, let's just take stock and see where I'm at. Don't get greedy, you know. Sat down and remember again, it was always 500 and like 550, 520 or something like that. I sat down there, took stock. I'm like, shit, I am exactly back even. I got my 1,000 back that I had lost earlier on the table with the guys, and I'm gonna be heading out at 9 o'clock in the morning. You know, normally when we wake up to hit the road. I said, you know what? Let's go down and check the. Actually, what had happened was, after I got the 1,000 back, I went down to the non-smoking section, and there was 2 guys on the table. I was like, okay, this is it. I'm willing to put this 1,000 back out there and see if I can get my toss going. As soon as I walked to the table, the lady said, "Sir, this is the last shooter, but you can still buy it if you want." I'm like, okay, the hell with it. Bought him for 1,000 and went for 2 hits on the guy that was shooting. Looked like a decent shooter. I think I got maybe 1 hit. He 7'd out. I went 110 inside, so I was like, okay. Gave back a little there. Then they was closing that table, so I just took my chips, went down on the other side. That table down there was packed. It's like, okay. I ain't gonna be able to get on that table. Said I just gave back like maybe $60 or something. I was like, you know what? Nah. Let's call it a night. Because by this time it's about 1 o'clock in the morning, and I gotta get up at 9 o'clock. I hate waking up in the morning. The wife, she loves to wake up and draw the drapes, and the sun comes shining in, and I'm like a vampire. Like, shit, why she open up the curtains? Okay. So I think let's see what I did. Went back up to the crap table there. Stood there watching those guys play, watching the shooters. Table seemed to be kind of up and down, and looked at everybody's chip rack. Looked a little anemic. I'm like, don't need to be getting in this table anyhow. So I just when all was said and done, I walked away par for the course. Made it back to even. Left there. Didn't lose anything. Didn't win anything. And the room was comped, and so was the food. So it's a great birthday gift. Nice birthday trip. And it worked out nicely. So now, am I the bubble crap whisperer? Hell no. Do I like bubble crap? Hell no. However, that particular machine, and you guys heard me talk about it before. I hadn't been down to Chooctaw now about a year. That machine, I have some little quirks to it, and I was able to figure out and exploit them somewhat. Uh, and Yeah, my let's say my win rate percentage on that during a point cycle was probably 90% or better. But I always, everybody's gonna say, well, you should have pressed your bets up, and like I said, every time I press my bets up to, you know, 340 across, I don't know why, but the Grim Reaper would come, Big Red would come. So I just decided to keep it at 160 across, get that one hit, and work from there. So, but it worked out. It worked out great. I was able to recoup my losses, and you know, I didn't get to shoot too much on the table because the tables were packed. And like I said, if I can't get to my spot, I'm not shooting. If the table is loud, you know, got the drunk guy yelling and all that stuff. And that night he was. That's why it went 640 across. Just bit the bullet, jumped in there, and you know, went 640 across. Got those 2 hits the first night, and walked the way up. So, and then everybody else on the table was, you know, basically didn't have two good shooters on the table, and the guy was already loud. So I just wanted to you know, I just wanted to basically plus up my bankroll off that 640. The idea was really to go 960, but I was still planning on coming down at 5 o'clock in the morning, you know, coffee run, but that didn't happen. I was too tired. Once I left the table, after all that bubble crap up and down and all that, I was too tired. So, first day, I was up. Second day, went way down, 1,000, you know, actually $1,000 plus down, but sat there in that bubble crap machine, grinded out, and got it back. Like I said, I was able to come up with some specific rules that seemed to work and gave me just about damn near 90% win rate on that machine during the point cycle. Now, there was a couple of times where, you know, where I decided, okay, instead of waiting for, after I do a 1 count after the point was set, I decided to go wait for the third third the third roll to see what would happen. And a couple of times I got caught out there, but that was okay. I was able to grind it back and come right back and stay with my within that system, normally getting paid on a second or third hit. I would say betting big or turning on my bets on 160 across. I'll keep my bets off for once the point is set. Then on the second roll, decide either I'm gonna turn them on that second roll, second roll or the third roll to get paid. And it worked out. Sometime I went to the third roll, a few times I went to the fourth roll. And then, like I said, adding in that 1 count in there, because those machines are notorious for PSO. Them .7 out was coming back to back. So, like I said, that 1 count saved my ass. And then just the normal rules of crap some of us use, such as if you see a yo, turn your bets off for 1 roll. I could hear the dice coach saying that. And if you see a midnight and a 2, keep your bets off for 2 roll. Again, just employing those little strategy that we normally use at the crap table worked out great for me on that particular bubble crap table. So, will it work for everybody? Hell no, but it just happened to work out for me. So, alright, that's my 2 cents. So, like I said, it was par for the course. It was a wash, but the trip overall was great. Had a good time. Didn't make any money. Didn't lose any money. But like they say in black, the win. I'll take the win, take the push. So alright, we're gonna shut it down here. Yo, it's been the Sarge getting it in. And that's my Chooctaw trip report. Sarge out.